Monday, everybody. It's the start of a new weekly reading vlog, and you would have seen me sitting on the beach reading Accidentally Engaged by Paula Hawkins, and I got to chapter 8, which is 90 pages, and sadly, I'm gonna have to DNF this, and I think this might be my first DNF of the year, which is so sad because I've been saving this to read on the beach. I've hyped it up a lot in my mind, and I just have quite a few issues with it and the writing, and I read some reviews of it, and I just don't think it's gonna get any better, and some of the stuff that I was excited for is just kind of falling flat for me. But I'll update you more on that when I have more time to talk about it. And I'm also listening to Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins, and it's narrated by Rosamund Pike, and I'm really into that so far. I'm about 30% into the audiobook, and I'm having a lot of fun. There's a lot of characters. You're getting a lot of their backstories, which I know was true of her second book, Into the Water, and that was a complaint a lot of people had, but I really liked that book, so I think this one will probably go in that direction, though I think this one is more thrilling than her second book. But now I have to decide what physical book to read next, and I'm not with all my books. I'm at the beach, so I don't have a lot of selections, so I'm gonna look through those, and I'll let you know what I choose. I settled on The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. I was gonna go with The Therapist by B.A. Paris, but I'm listening to a thriller. Don't want to read a thriller physically because I might get them confused. And this book is like a BookTube darling. Everybody talks about this in series, and I really should not start another series. I just read Fireborn. That's the start of a new series. Loved it. This is the beginning of a new series that I'm sure I'm going to love. But it's just calling to me, and I was looking at this cover, and there are so many interesting details on it that I hadn't looked at before. Like, is that a jaguar, a key, the knife, there's a lock. So it's really cool, so I'm excited to dive into this. I'll let you know what my first impressions are. Okay, so I finally have some time to sit down. It's still Monday, but I just want to briefly say why I'm DNFing this so then I can just move on from it. First of all, I read some Own Voices reviews of the Muslim rep in here, and I thought that there were some interesting conversations happening on Goodreads about that. Obviously, I can't comment on that, but I did notice a few things, and so I would recommend go reading Own Voices reviews on this one. But also, the dialogue in here wasn't really working for me. I didn't realize going into this that it is set in Toronto, so I love that. I was really surprised, and I like the little nods to Canada. The love interest kind of makes fun of the way she says about, and I noticed when I never think that I have a Canadian accent, and then I watch these videos back, and I really do. So I thought that was funny because she didn't realize herself, and he's got a British accent. But the first chapter starts off with her talking about her sourdough starter that she's named Brian, and it's kind of giving her a hard time. And it says here her first mistake had been naming the starter after a man. So I thought that was funny, and I thought that was kind of going to be the tone that we were going to get through all this, and it's just not. The dialogue feels clunky. There are so many characters in here with their own relationships and their own struggles that it's a lot to take in. Her relationship with her sister is flawed. There seems to be a lot going on with her sister that we're just touching on 90 pages in, and I'm sure that develops in an interesting way, but it's just a lot to take in here. And I think there's actually, Paula Hawkins has a book called The Chai Factor, which might be about her best friend, because there's a hint to her best friend's romance a lot in this. Like, it's a little heavy-handed, like trying to get you to read the first book. That's what it feels like. And the setup for this one is that we're following, I can't, what's her name? I just read this on the beach and I already forget. We're following Rena, who is working a job she doesn't love. She doesn't want to work in the family business, and she loves baking and specifically making bread. And she wants to enter this cooking competition, but it's for couples. So she convinces her neighbor, Nadim, is that his name? I already forget. Yes, Nadim, to join her and pretend to be engaged so that they could enter this contest, except he works for her dad, and her parents kind of want them to get married, and she doesn't want to give in to what her parents want, which is a very common theme that I see in books like this. And I don't know that I like him very much. The way he flirts is a little obnoxious for me, and I don't know, I'm just not buying their chemistry. I'm already so far in, and the competition doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. And there's something about it that I'm really, really struggling with, and it's really sad because I thought I was gonna love this. I've been saving it for ages, but I just can't force myself to read it, especially when I have other books that are really calling to me right now. I don't know, if you've read this and you love it and it takes a turn and it gets better, please let me know, because I am open to trying it again. I'll hold on to it for a while and see if the mood strikes me, but there's a few, let's take with the romance. They're having a few romances that I've DNF'd that I just can't get into. The romance book club, I didn't get into. The Jen DeLuca series, what's the first one called? The one that takes place at the Renaissance Fair. I really wanted to like that, but I just couldn't get into that one either. So like romances can be really hit or miss for me, but when they hit, they really hit. But this one is a miss, at least for now. Let me know your thoughts on this and if you think I should try again, because maybe it was just the wrong time. So that's it. Haven't started The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter yet, but I have a good feeling that I'm gonna love that one. But now I'm just waiting for pizza. Gonna sit around, watch some BookTube videos, work on my blog a little bit. Supposed to go to lunch in a nearby town with my aunt tomorrow, so maybe I will film just a few clips of that. I don't think she'd want to be in the video, but maybe just of the shopping or of our lunch or something, but we'll see. I'll see if I come back today or not, but I'll talk to you soon. So it's a few days since I last recorded. I did spend the day with my aunt and uncle yesterday. I meant to film some of the town that we went to, but we just didn't have time. I didn't even think about it. But there's a cute little bookstore there that I love, and I bought All's Well by Mona Wad there. She wrote Bunny, that I still want to read, and I know so many people love that book, but this one really caught my eye. And at first I thought I liked the other edition that had the mask that's made of pills, but this Canadian edition I actually really think is kind of cool. So I saw this there and I was excited. And then I came home today and this was in the mail from Penguin House Canada, which is so nice of them to send this to me. So now I have 2 copies of this, and actually my friend likes thrillers and stuff, so I'm just gonna gift her the copy that I bought myself, so that's okay. But I'm actually going to read this one after I'm finished my current read, because I'm really intrigued now that I have 2 copies. I want to make sure that I think she'll like it before I'll give it to her. And then if not, maybe I'll do a giveaway, but then I don't want to give away a book that I don't love. So we'll see. Even if I don't think she'll like it in the end, I can just put it in a free little library around here, no big deal. But it was so nice of Penguin Canada to send that to me. And I also got I'm a Once Upon a Book Club VIP, so I got a box from them, and I'm gonna do a whole separate vlog where I read the book and then unbox the gifts, because I love that. I did that with the Miss Meteor box that they had, and there's some great gifts in there, and I really, really love that book. And I thought it was fun to read the book and open the gifts while I'm vlogging, and everybody seemed to enjoy that, so I'll definitely do that. But I don't have my book with me right now. I'm gonna go grab it. Second, pull you off the charger. Okay. You're getting a tour of the place behind me. Can you tell we're at the beach or what? Okay. Of course, I always store my books in these book sleeves from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves. I feel like I plug them all the time, but I just love Rachel. And I went to the beach today, but The sandflies there are so bad, and they just love my O negative blood, so I was only there for maybe an hour, but I did manage to read quite a bit, 153 pages of The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and this is really cute. I liked the writing right off the bat, and I just love the friendships in here. It's actually darker than I even initially thought. We start with a funeral. So Mary, one of the main characters' mothers, has passed away, and she is her last name's Jekyll, so Jekyll and Hyde, and there's some mystery behind the finances there. So that's slowly revealed. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, but I love how they break the fourth wall in this book. So the author has author notes where they talk about everybody that's mentioned in here, how annoying they are giving their input. So instead of just taking their input, they're gonna put in the text that everybody says as they're writing the novel. And so you get these little snippets. See if I can show you. Like there, where it says Mary and Catherine, where they kind of just jump in and give their opinions on the paragraph beforehand. So at first it can be a little jarring, but it's really, really fun, and I bet you that's really cool on audio. So if you listen to this on audio, let me know, because maybe I will read the rest of the series that way, because I have a feeling I'm going to want to continue, because this is really, really fun. And I love that they keep saying this is the 90s, but they mean 1890, and like we're modern women, we can do certain things, but it's 1890. I just think something about that is really fun, and some interesting conversations in here. I wasn't expecting it to be like it is, and I just really love the writing. And does Theodore Goss have any other books, or is she working on another series? Because yes, her writing style works for me. And also, I just want to show you, I went to Shoppers today, and of course I had to get this when I saw it. It is, let me just flip the camera, like the Ultimate Guide to Harry Styles. And there's a section here, I'll give you a whole preview of this, where it talks about Harry's favorite books. So I know a lot of people do those kind of reading vlogs where they read celebrities' favorite books, and I know a lot of people have done Harry Styles, but I thought this would be fun inspiration if you want to do that, or maybe I'll do that. But I've never read Haruki Murakami, but I do have one of his books, and I will read something by him at some point. And the ones that Harry likes are The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle and Norwegian Wood, so that's interesting. And he's got Joe Didion in here, and Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, so I thought that was kind of cute, and I just love him, so that's fun. That's all I have to update you on right now. I got a blueberry custard pie in the town that I was in yesterday, and it is delicious. Maybe I'll record some of that later when I have a piece, but I'm going to do some blog stuff, read some more of this, and maybe I'll pop back on later today with the pie, or tomorrow. Hopefully I can figure out how to stop the beach flies, because they just love me over there. So that's it for now. Talk to you soon. Alright, so it is now Saturday, and I don't think I've updated you since Wednesday, because I really haven't read that much. I haven't listened to any of my audiobook, because honestly I've been watching Love Island UK. I found them online, and I'm kind of hooked on that, and that show airs like every day, and I think it's almost over, and I just started it, so there's 40 something episodes. But I have taken some time to read The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and something let me tell you what page I'm on. I'm on page 287, so like I think I can finish this today. It's Saturday. I will probably just sit outside on the Muskoka chairs back here and look at the river and read this book, finish it up, because I'm really, really liking it. Something I didn't realize going into this was how big a character Sherlock Holmes would be, and Watson. I love that they're in this so much, and that they're helping all these young women, and they're really on their side. It's just really sweet. Like, if you love Holmes as a character, you have to pick this up. And it's interesting because I haven't read a lot of the original text from the characters that are inspired in here. I've only read Frankenstein, and Justine Frankenstein, who's Frankenstein's daughter, and this is a character in here, and her storyline is really fascinating. And I didn't like Frankenstein, but I read it in high school for philosophy, and you know, when you have to analyze something to death, it kind of takes the magic out of it. So I've been wanting to reread that for years, so maybe I will read that this October. It's obviously like a good Halloween-y read, but it'd be nice to have some more context for this book, because I think it's so evident how much research and respect that Theodore Goss has for the original text. Like, I've never read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've never read Dracula, which is just ridiculous. I really should. I know that's a lot of people's favorite classic. And what other ones are in here? Dr. Moreau, I haven't read that story, so yeah, I would like to go back and read those. And I know that this is YA, but the characters in here, except for one, are quite a bit older than what I would consider YA. So that's interesting, and it does get a little bit gory, but nothing too bad. I just think the science behind here is very unique, and I like where the story is going. Right now, where I stopped, we're really into the action, and it's fun. But I know that this is a trilogy, and I think the last book is something like 720 pages, which is huge. And Scrib does have the next two books on audio, so I'm thinking I might do it that way, because for bigger books, I just like audio. And as I said in my last clip, I think there are sections where the girls interject their thoughts as the author is writing this book. And I just think that'll probably be really fun on audio. So it's just really interesting. Like, they have Diana jumping in with her thoughts in here, and it can be a bit confusing and take you out of the story a little bit, but I love that Theodore Goss is playing with the way a story is told. So those are my thoughts so far. So far it's like a 4-star read. It all depends on what happens in the end. Because it's a trilogy, I have a feeling I'll probably get a bit of a cliffhanger, which I hate, but I understand. And the fact that this series is already complete means that I can just jump into the next one if I want to. So that is it for now. I haven't listened to any more of Razorblade Tears, but I know I'm going to love that. And I got a book box from Once Upon a Book Club, and I know that the book for that is Reset, which I know nothing about, and I haven't seen anybody talk about it, so that'll be fun. So I think for my next video, I'm going to do a separate video where I read that and open all the gifts. I think I told you that earlier. But that's it for now. Whoops. Okay, I have you sitting on this ship, so obviously not the most stable way to hold the camera. But anyways, I'm wrapping up this clip anyways. I'm about to go to the grocery store, maybe get a nice coffee, and that is it. I'll update you when I finish this, and I'll wrap this vlog up. Okay, so I just finished The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and I really ended up loving this quite a bit. I can see why this is like a BookTube darling, why so many people adore this book in particular. I'm really curious to see how the rest of the series plays out, because this book does end not on a cliffhanger, but it's really a setup for what the next book's going to be about. And I love that the book is self-aware, because the characters that come in say like, oh, smart, setting up the readers for the second book, trying to get them to read the second book. And I just thought that was really clever. I love when books break the fourth wall like that. And actually there's an author's note at the end, not from Theodore Goss, but from the author of this book, the fictional author, who's actually one of the characters in here. And she talks about Mary Shelley in there, the author of Frankenstein. And I thought that was a really nice way to end it. It's kind of heartwarming in a way, really interesting. So I love the feminist themes throughout here, but really this is a story about found family. The characters are what shine in here. We follow 7 characters, really, 7 women, and they're all so unique, so interesting in their own right. One of them is actually the housekeeper to Mary Jekyll, and she becomes like a mother figure to all these women, and it's just so sweet. I love how they kind of pick fun at her, and she puts these women in their place. It's just so fantastic. The dynamic in here, this is like the definition of found family. So yes, I highly recommend this one. It is not overhyped, deserves all the praise that it gets, so I loved it. And that is really the only thing that I read this week, but it was great. And I'm going to, as I said, open that book box. I'm going to do that introduction right now, so that will be my plan for next week, and to really dive into Razorblade Tears because I really want to read that. And I also have the audiobook for The Apples Never Fall from Leanne Moriarty that she wrote Big Little Lies, and I have the ALC from Libro Femme, so I'd love to get to that next week, or at least the week after. So I'll have all my thoughts on all of those in my next vlog, and I know I want to start doing more sit-down videos here again now that I've got my setup a little bit figured out. So if you have anything you'd like to see or any recommendations, leave them in the comments, because vlogs right now seem to be easier creatively, but I do want to do some more sit-down vlogs. So if you watch this whole thing, thank you so much for your time. I'll talk to you again soon. See you next week.